What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about God of War Ragnarok, because we just got a huge new chunk of information completely based about the combat, explaining combos, craziness, weapons, and everything juicy and delicious about this. Now, before we actually go into it, I do have to do one giant warning. Today, they've decided not to release any new gameplay. Apparently, we're about to get 4 minutes of raw gameplay posted relatively soon, but today, they just released a big write-up, which I wanted to read with you guys. So, hi, hope you're having a great day. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So this guy over here is one of the main dudes at Game Informer, Andrew Reiner. Seems like a nice guy, follows me on Twitter, so that's always a good time. And he says here, today you're going to be getting a lot of details about the combat of God of War Ragnarok. No, you're not going to be getting any of this footage. That's coming in the days to come. So they just dropped this. There's a couple screenshots inside of this article, but it looks like it's all just trailer footage we've seen previously. Oh man, look at this. These are new. Oh, there's a lot of new screenshots. Whoa, look at this weird new shield. Whoa. Okay, but I want to read this. Let's actually go through this article. These are the lead combat designers who are doing this interview sort of breakdown, and they're talking about the internal inspiration and philosophy behind this. Let's start right here. There is an internal philosophy that we've had since back in the day, says Shia. Kratos plays with his food. We tried to create systems you want to engage with that are fun, very playful, lots of different routes. And when we looked at that combat in the last game, we were like, we can push this further. We can find new toys and ways of playing with enemies and strategies. That's been the guiding principle more than anything else. So these people have actually worked on God of War for 17 years between the both of them. It's very clear that they know what they're talking about here. But it's interesting to think about that, because I guess I'd never actually contextualized the fact that Kratos does love to switch weapons, do power kicks, throw people down holes and stuff like that. So it's cool that they're sort of keeping that spirit alive, and apparently even taking it further than it's ever gone before. Now here we go. For 7 minutes, I follow Kratos and Atreus across an enclosed area chock full of explosive pots, advantageous high ground, wooden platforms, and bipedal lizards called Grims. The pair move in unison. Kratos pins a beast against a rock wall and then comes down on its skull with an Olympian strength. Atreus fills a stagger bar while locking enemies in place with sonic arrows. So I guess he got a chance to see this gameplay demo. This is probably some of the gameplay and screenshots we're seeing here. We're probably going to see more of this. This is all on Game Informer. Game Informer, typically whenever there's stuff like this, they also post a lot of screenshots and stuff. And usually on their YouTube channel later on, they actually release the gameplay they saw. When a cursed Grim tries to catch the bulky father off guard, firing toxic bile from its swollen gut, Kratos sidesteps the phlegm and masterfully deflects a second flurry with his arm shield. He throws his axe at a pot tucked between boxes, and the quarter instantly erupts in flames, sending scalpy appendages everywhere. So more destructible, interesting, creative stuff to keep those combos going. I like that. Atreus demonstrates he's as much of a powerhouse as his father, swinging at an unsuspecting Grim with his bow while always repositioning to shoot. The two notice a few stragglers perched above, and in one fluid motion, the Godslayer latches onto the ridge with his blades of chaos, climbs the structure, and stomps on a Hellstone for extra flair, and launches the remaining creatures into the sky. So, more verticality, like the fact that he has a grapple point and uses the chains of chaos to jump in there. The one major criticism I think we all heard about God of War when it came out in 2018, the PlayStation 4 one, was definitely the fact that we all heard those white man can't jump jokes that in the previous God of War games released on the PlayStation 2, in the previous God of War games released on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, Kratos was constantly jumping. In fact, there was even air combos and stuff. So suddenly not being able to jump, it felt a little bit different. Whereas here, it does sound like even if we don't have a dedicated jump button, at least we can get around the battlefield. This adrenaline rush is tied to the versatility of Kratos' kit. The battle axe and chain blades increase maneuverability and power, but a misleadingly small-scale change to the triangle button makes all the difference. In the last game, if you pressed triangle, you called the axe, but if you already had the axe, nothing happened. If you had the blades of chaos and you pressed triangle, you went back to the axe. We looked at that concept and wondered, what if you could do something a little bit different with that button? A whole new set of moves. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it sounds really good. Oh my gosh, look at this. Triangle attacks are officially called weapon signature moves. Depending on whether you have the Leviathan axe or the Blades of Chaos readied, Kratos can infuse the weapon's sharpened steel with ice or fire. These elemental moves are called Frost Awaken and Whiplash, and they do extra damage by freezing or incinerating aggressors. Okay, that sounds awesome, and I mean, clearly I don't know anything. The game's not out. We haven't even seen that much gameplay of it, but I have to say, what if we end up getting frickin' Thor's hammer? What if we, because, you know, obviously we got a secondary set of weapons about halfway through the God of War 2018. We got the Chaos Blades about halfway through the main story. What if we have that happen again in this one? What if halfway through we get a chance to get Thor's hammer and it shoots electricity? Or what if we start getting a chance to play as Atreus, and Atreus is actually to do special stuff like shooting his one button or freaking hitting people with your bow. Maybe he has his own special magics. Super cool. The shield is revamped as well. Ye walked me through the pros and cons of the new Dauntless and Stonewall shields, occasionally reminding me that the team wanted players to tailor their gameplay to immediate needs. The Dauntless shield is all about that twitch reaction. By parrying at the last possible moment, Kratos' shield glows a menacing red, signaling the player can unleash a devastating smash that tosses stunned enemies. Dissimilarly, the Stonewall shield is for tank lovers that prefer slower-paced bouts. I think I'm probably going to use the Stonewall shield. For whatever reason, I'm very good at parrying, I'm not very good at parrying, but I'm very good at dodging. In games like this, I typically just keep moving, try and get behind people, smash their weak points, and if it does come to blocking, I do appreciate just being able to hold a block button. So that sounds incredibly juicy. The more hits the Stonewall shield takes, the more kinetic energy it absorbs, and once it's fully charged, players can bang the shield into the ground, emitting a screen-wide pulse, knocking anything foolish enough to approach it off its feet. So I guess that's all these screenshots. So that's the Stonewall shield, I believe, doing the kinetic blast. Oh, that's the kinetic blast. Oh, I love it. Here's the downward strike. So I guess that's him. These are the Grims. Wow. Here, let's see. Can I full screen this specifically? Yeah, here we go. Here's a little full screen button. Oh, look at that Grim. Wow. That's really cool looking. Oh man, this is clearly a screenshot from gameplay. Oh man, I cannot wait for them to release this gameplay clip. Oh my god, but all protection comes at a cost. The Stonewall shield becomes increasingly unstable as it takes more damage, opening up Kratos to otherwise ineffective block-breaking blitzes. Yi says Kratos will have access to other powerful shields, but warned players not to bite off more than they could chew. Maybe don't play with all your food, because there will be food that can eat you pretty easily. This sounds delicious, no pun intended, but oh my gosh, this is so freaking good. Okay, let me read this last paragraph, and then I got to do some thoughts because this is extremely cool. Both designers confirmed enemy aggression and lethality would be heightened on harder difficulties, but players still need to keep their wits about them regardless of selected settings. Old locations are periodically repopulated with more powerful fauna, and optional territories could be tough without a stronger crew. So it sounds like lots of side content. They have said in other interviews that they're going to have all 9 realms of Midgar or whatever, so we're going to be able to go to a lot of places that we have not seen or maybe even not even really heard about in the previous God of War 2018 or even the older trilogy. So that sounds great. I also like the idea that you will have some backtracking, but when you do that, it's going to put in new enemies, new difficult monsters and stuff to deal with. Yi mentions that fans of Realm's tiers will get a comparable sense of gratification from besting some of Ragnarok's formidable side content. There's no word on whether Kratos will obtain other primary weapons, but last year's trailer unveiled an elk runic summon for Atreus to ride, so hopefully we'll see other new abilities soon. And then of course they're like, hey, check out our stuff on the exclusive freaking website and their magazine. This sounds fantastic. I'm not trying to be too much of a fanboy, but all these details sound like it's going to be a bigger, better, more playable experience. I'm kind of curious to see all of this in action though, and I'm already kind of wanting to play the game on the hardest difficulty, because while I wasn't able to beat God of War Ragnarok, was the hardest one was called, or sorry, God of War 2018, the hardest difficulty was actually pretty beastly. Wasn't that called Give Me God of War? I never finished it on that difficulty, but I kind of want to give it a shot just to sort of practice for this. Hopefully we get a lot more gameplay soon. There's a lot of rumors going around right now that over on September 8th, there might be an hour-long state of play style PlayStation showcase. That could be a great opportunity to actually show us God of War Ragnarok, show us some raw gameplay, show us bigger tidbits, show us what's actually going on here, and give me this combat. Okay, well, what do you guys think? Is this cool to you? Are you excited for it? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. This is legit cool. Sorry I'm wearing gym clothes. I literally came straight home from the gym and I was eating and this news dropped. So, thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.